Welcome back to another J&J Monday on a Sunday, which we got two great hosts to join us. It's going to pretty much be, we might as well call it J&J Sunday and Monday Extra Happy because that's exactly what this looks like right now. I'm live from Starbucks as always, along with Josh again. Of course, she had to curse her because she had her back pains. We also have Kat with us as always. And we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to still stay with the 80s theme if Reb ever gets here. We're also going to be talking about restaurants that went out of business. And what's wrong with you people? Really?
A lot
You
of
guys,
things.
why are you guys fighting over sauce you can buy from a store? You can even go to a Chinese restaurant and get this. All right. I will say this though, at least it got me familiarized with a Back to the Future parody, which makes common sense because we're talking about the '80s shows. Um, but that's the kind of stuff is. There will be no top five because I frankly want to focus on this kind of stuff, and I don't want to go past 10 o'clock. So that's
Oh, come on.
uh, and before we get on here, I kind of catch this guy because I do want him on this show, and it's been a while. So let me just do this real quick.
What are you doing?
I am trying to get Taylor, Y boy, on here.
Oh, yeah.
I love that man, and he's a Canadian, and I want
Um,
to see. All right, before we get on there, I left you guys a link. I don't know if you can get it, Kat, but I know Josh can click onto it. It pretty much focus on restaurants that's no longer in existence or pretty much almost on its way out. So I want to talk about that a little because it's actually fascinating because these are the restaurants I've heard about. I never went inside of it. I heard about from TV shows, all just from the wind, but never seen any more commercials after that. All right, so and I want to just get on to that. But before we do on to that, I do have to make this my top story. And let me just do this. Say goodbye to my friend. He's busy. All right. So you've seen the show. I have not. The only reason why I heard about the show because DoubleToasted.com, Brad from the Cinnamon Snob has talked about this. What? You really? They're gonna start riots and fights in a fast food restaurant over a sauce they can buy from the store? From a show I never even heard before, Ricky Morty. First of all, Josh, how popular is this show? I know it's a parody from Back to the Future.
oh, good. Yeah, the backstory for it. It was long story short. You can look it up on YouTube. But basically, it's he was trying to get copyright strikes. He was trying to get in trouble. And so he ended up making Rick and Morty. And so the
Go ahead.
final version. What?
Go ahead. Go ahead. It sounds interesting.
Okay, so then it got picked up as a show, and it's about this Rick who is the biggest asshole in the world universes. They multiverse. He's drunk nearly constantly. He's the smartest man alive. And he basically gets into hijinks with his nephew, Morty. And yeah, that's basically the only stable part I can get to without going, oh, and there's, goddamn, like there's Unity, which is a creature that is sort of like the Borg, that has one, it's like a hive mind that Rick dated, and you meet her. Goddamn. Not Jon Stewart, but the John who now has the show on HBO. He voices a character in it where it's a parody of Jurassic Park, but instead of dinosaurs, it's inside a human body. The park's inside the human body. Like the only stable things I can talk about is a drunk uncle and his nephew.
You are trying so hard to try to make sense into this.
There's like a sense, like there's storylines of Rick's daughter Beth and her husband Jerry having marital problems, which caused at the beginning of season 3 for Jerry to be distanced. So
okay, the fact that this actually lasted 3 seasons is scary enough. I'm just want to know: is it that much of a fan base to justify them going nuts over something they can buy off the store for $2.48?
Yeah.
I like how specific you are with that price. I am also very surprised that this was a copyright infringement attempt that actually didn't work compared to everything else that's been going on YouTube, where it has been struck for not being an intended copyright thing. So some rogue got its wires crossed.
Yeah, it's an amusing part of the backstory. It's like, I'm going to get in trouble.
Well, here's the thing. I'm listening to you guys because I still can't believe this actually was a thing. And I never even heard this show.
It is. I've been hearing of it for like the past half a year, and I know at least one friend that watches it, but obviously I can't watch it, and I don't really know what all the fuss is about, but you don't know. I don't keep up with popular things as it is. It just seems like one of these weird things that people like. Thank you very much.
Here's what it says in the Washington Post. It says, McDonald's botch its Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce stunt, and fans are not happy. Justin Roiland, a co-creator of the Adult Swim smash hit Rick and Morty, told Comic Riff that this summer only partly in jest that while writing the show, he has feared angering his millions of his hardcore fans. Perhaps McDonald's should take a clue because on Saturday, the burger chain managed to do just that. In April, Ronald expressed his nostalgic love for McDonald's limited Szechuan sauce, a promotion tied during the 1998 Disney Mulan. So let me get it straight. You're getting mad about a sauce that's been discontinued from a movie that hasn't been seen in how many years now? Almost 10? And 18? And on a show episode that was supposed to be a joke. And they,
because then everyone wanted to start, tasting the Szechuan sauce.
Yeah, that's where you go to the store and buy it. It's not that hard to find.
Yeah, people on Facebook, I have seen actually post recipes to make your own Szechuan sauce.
Just go to the store. That's all you need. By incorporating it into Rick and Morty's plotline, the response that the fast food titan sent a Cartoon Network creative voice creator an additional size bottle. See, they've already messed up right there. You shouldn't. This probably would have died down had they not done anything. They don't do nothing.
Yeah, but it's. They were sort of, I don't know, playing with the fans and like the show creators, like, here, you did this thing, so here you go. And they actually had a reaction video of the show writers and creators tasting the Szechuan sauce. They didn't like it, I think, for the most part. Like, wow, that's strong, and so it's not really hilarious.
What does it taste of?
I don't know. By the reactions, it seemed like really spicy shit.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I don't know what it tastes like, but I know how they were describing it has a really strong flavor to it. But yeah.
Well, it says here, McDonald's heard the call and promised a super limited release of Szechuan sauce on Saturday. Only at select. They just made everything wrong.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, oh, the fan base is not huge and rapid, so we only have to put in a few places. Like, people drove fucking hours to get to one of these McDonald's.
Hours?
Yeah, in some cases.
Hours?
So then when you...
People waiting online at 12 in the morning.
Then you have...
People waiting 12 in the morning for this.
Yeah, so then you see people then you think about the people who are putting all this effort to get Szechuan sauce, and then some places might have had 10 or 20 packets, then you can understand why they're pissed off. It's like there were insanity on both ends. Both sides did not do things correctly.
Me, but I can't even blame the TV show. They wasn't making a joke. How do you mess this up?
And then the show creator, like the main voice, I think, of Rick, Justin something or another, I can't remember his last name. He, I think, either made a Facebook post or a tweet saying that we had nothing to do with the promotion, and you know, don't harass the McDonald's employees. And then, okay.
It says in this report, it says, but the chain failed to anticipate the high demand despite...
Why the fuck would they fail to anticipate? Do you see the rabid goddamn fit? Are you like, hey, there's this Adult Swim show, there's not going to... That's not the place where you find the really crazy fans.
To be fair...
20 is not just under anticipating it. It's just totally missing the mark there.
To be fair, I never heard of this until this thing broke out. I really was surprised at this.
I think the McDonald's, though, would know about it because, again, they interacted with the show creators, sending them sauce. There were actually petitions made to bring back Szechuan sauce. So McDonald's would be well fucking aware of the demand. More so than just putting, like, 10 or 20 packets in locations.
Well,
I wish I didn't know these facts.
I'll tell you right now, it's hilarious. I'm glad. I don't know how the UK had this kind of problem, similar problem, because it says here, angry in the tweet, angry crowd chant, "We want sauce," as police force them back. That's a damn shame. These packets are not that. You could have just went to the Chinese restaurant and said, "I just need Szechuan sauce." They would have gave it to you. This McDonald's, they was asking for trouble. This McDonald's, according to this tweet, said they only had 70 sauces. They didn't get the sauce at UPenn, University of Penn State, but I enjoyed the police speaker saying, "Return to your homes. They do not have the sauce."
Oh my god, it's like an episode of Rick and Morty. It makes that much sense. Stupidity on both sides. It's like
cops on Wellington McDonald's or tons of angry people line up for Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce, only to learn they had none. First of all, it's the Mulan Szechuan sauce that has been discontinued since the movie. And they decided it's now automatically Rick and Morty. I know Rick and Morty like that. What have we done? We only made an episode.
It's funny, at the end of the episode of Rick's like, I'm going to basically, I'm paraphrasing it, he was like, I'm going to make this my season, my character arc now, Morty. I have to get Szechuan sauce, even if it takes 9 seasons.
Look at this one. It said another Twitter said the McDonald's went for the Szechuan sauce event today was only given 20 packets, and people have been camping out since 3 a.m. That's good for you. Sorry, you went out good. You couldn't. Good. That's all I gotta say. I can't even.
What's insane? More to add to the insanity, those Szechuan sauce packs sell for a shitload. Like those lucky enough to get them, someone went to the eBay and just sold them. I could have used getting a Szechuan pack then. Just go on eBay.
I don't know how true this is because I'm actually looking at this now. It says here that Rick and Morty Athletics McDonald's Szechuan sauce package, 1 package, and a limited post of $1,200.
What?
I don't know how true this is, but this is how crazy people have gone with this thing. Another offer. Rick and Morty Atlantic McDonald's Szechuan sauce, 1 sauce seal pack, $1,000.
Yeah, there were definitely high prices there, so I don't doubt those prices.
McDonald's Szechuan dipping sauce 1 ounce pack exclusively in hand, $500. Rick and Morty McDonald's Szechuan dipping sauce 2 for $200. Did you really get 17 packets in store, or did you manage to just to make a bulk size cash? Man, this is ridiculous. This is a damn shame that I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say, but first of all, this show, I don't know how many seasons this show has.
3 seasons.
You're basing you guys going nuts on an animated show that's pretty much on the level of South Park, Family Guy, and King of the Hill. You're taking this show that seriously that you want that now you have to run to McDonald's to get Szechuan sauce. And McDonald's again, what the hell were you thinking? You could have just ignored this. You could have said, "No, we don't have that sauce," and that's it. What are they gonna say? They want their sauce? No, you don't have it. But not only did you try to bank on this, but
You
didn't
banked
have enough.
horribly.
Yes. Come on, McDonald's.
It's like,
You gotta do better than that.
stop clowning around. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, while we was talking, my slumlord, they just called me up on the phone. I'm not gonna answer that phone. We'll talk about that off the air. Yeah, that's why I said so. We're having a serious issue going on in my end of the woods that I'm
The
just getting
stories
frustrated.
are always horrible, and when everything's resolved, amusing. When everything's resolved.
Yeah.
Like, when you can look back and laugh, not when it's, happening.
Well, so Kat, my UK friend, your McDonald's didn't go crazy like we did in the US, did they?
They might have done in London, but I have no idea. I can't imagine it would have done locally. But then I don't know how popular the show is over here, so I'm afraid I don't have an answer as usual.
If you didn't hear anything, that's actually a good thing. That means there's nobody making a fool of himself over a cartoon show that says Szechuan sauce, so all of a sudden they want that.
Well, they'll be making fools of themselves over Doctor Who.
And again, when I saw the image, I said, "Oh, there's a Back to the Future parody." Because I look like Don Brown, I look like Marty McFly, but they just go on my Ricky Morty. But it's close enough. And you can tell. They don't have no time machine.
Yeah, they don't do
Yeah,
time
some-
travel. They actively have said, even in at least one episode, no time travel. The show creators have said no time travel. In the latest season 3, it ended at the end of one episode. Rick talks to the audience and talking to the other characters around him, but he's talking to the audience, going, that wasn't time travel. Because
If he really wants to be infringing copyright, he really should have tried harder.
I think, like I said, you can look it up and see all the things I forgot to mention or didn't mention or just messed up. But yeah, it's an amusing beginning of a show.
Oh.
And it's
You know,
amusing.
one thing I would
You
say
should both watch it. Everyone watching, you should watch it. Become part of the collective. I'm going to go now.
I'm not gonna go.
No, thank you. Again, I will stick with Nightmare.
No, I'm not gonna go. I'll probably take a look at it YouTube. That's the only good thing that came out of this. It gave me introduced to a show I never even knew existed.
Yeah, it's definitely has a certain type of humor.
You know, it definitely got 107 facts talking about them. All right, so we're done with that. I'm not gonna go crazy with it because I'm not talking about McDonald's sauce the entire time. What I will talk about, I left a link for you, Josh, because I think some of these these restaurant chains, was in your area more than it was in mine. And
Just
these food chains are either no longer exist or exist, but not as powerful as they was. I don't know if they even expanded in the UK. So, Kat, you may not even heard of these yourself. I heard of some of them because from TV shows like The Honeymooners or Cheers, or just from my imagination. But Um,
That's very
these
interesting.
these restaurants have been very popular, and there's some restaurants that to this day, like I know there's a restaurant in UK. I can't get the name of it. It's so popular there. Haven't made the US yet, or trying to make the US. Same thing with Canada. There's Tim Hortons. I don't know if you ever heard of Tim Hortons, Johnson. I don't even know if you have Tim Hortons in
I
Florida.
the name sounds familiar, but we don't have it here.
I think
It's
I
a
have
donut
heard
coffee
it, but I
shop.
could be wrong.
All right. Well, Tim Hortons is just starting to branch out in the U.S. It's massively popular in Canada. But there were also restaurants that was popular in during the time, during the 40s, 50s, 60s, even 20s. They are no longer popular or just simply don't exist no more. And these are interesting restaurants that have made this interesting, unique list. There's 20 of them that the list has. And, Yahoo.com have sometimes have these lists up. You can see this is courtesy of definition.org. We've been through them a couple times. And, Josh, I hope you got the list because we're going to start right now. The
God.
first one into this list I heard about doing the honeymooners. They was hugely popular in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they're not popular anymore. According to the list, is that Howard Johnson's company launched in 1920, grew along with American car culture. By the 1960s, over 1,000 of its restaurant hotel chains, Detective of Orange Roof, dotted the American highway. However, within a few decades, they disappeared. The hotel portion of the business was sold off, still existing in name, but with none of the classic Hojo design elements. Meanwhile, the restaurant died a slow death as of 2017. There's only one Howard Johnson still in business. I don't know where they are. I do know they're not in New York. So,
Well, and I do know it's not in Orlando, so
so, Kat, heard of Howard Johnson?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, say that. Already forgotten. Now I heard about them from the honeymooners because they talked about it in one episode when Ralph Cranon was trying to get a hot dog stand business, and he opened it right across from Howard Johnson, which was a very big deal. The next one I never heard at all. So this number two would be very interesting to see. Sambo's. It looks like a pancake company. Sam Bettistone and Newton F. Bonnet opened their first Sambo restaurant in 1957. The chain name was a source of controversy according to the company. The name was simply a prominent of the founder's last name as opposed to being referenced to use as Sambo as a derogatory term of African Americans. Gee, I wonder. I'm very surprised you're laughing at that.
that's just stupid.
Oh well.
It's stupid. I mean, like, let's name our restaurant. Let's see. What derogatory word do we want to use today?
Yeah, but I don't think they mean it. I mean, they just
I
said
know they didn't mean to, but it's just that no one through the whole procedure there, told anyone, that might not be a good idea. Why? Because it's a derogatory term for African Americans. We might want to use a different name.
Well, it says here the fact that the director of the restaurants displayed the racist culture, Lee LeBlanc Sambone, didn't help their cause. At its height, the chain has about 1,000 locations, but dogged by the controversy, the company shut down in the 80s. Most of the locations were sold to Denny's. Now I know both of you guys have heard Denny's.
I've been to Denny's.
I'm pretty sure I've been to Denny's.
All right.
Have you been to Denny's?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I heard of it, never went to one. They're not in New York.
You need to
At
go
least
to
not in-
Denny's to be part of the club.
We got International House of Pancakes.
I think the Denny's
That's
I
what
went
we got.
to was
IHOP.
somewhere in,
I have IHOP
in LA.
too.
What was that one, Kat?
I think the only time I've been to Denny's is when I was in LA about bloody hell, nearly
Okay.
about a decade ago now. Wow.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're in your 20s.
Bloody hell. Okay, sorry, carry on.
Funny thing is, though, it doesn't like shut down in the 80s. They must have shut down slowly. So that restaurant looks still new, but then again, who knows? Number 3. Let's see which one they have. Number 3. Sambo's. Interesting. Kenny Rogers Roasters. I never heard of them.
No, no.
Country singer Kenny Rogers, themed with business partner John Y. Brown, to launch this chicken chain in 1990. While the food was popular, they was never able to break the market, and the restaurant was sold to Nathan's in 1998. However, the chain was immortalized in a classic episode of sitcom Seinfeld. Seinfeld was New York. I never seen this in New York.
I don't know if it was in New York or not. I've never been to New York.
Same.
Okay. I think it's unfair because if at least for the other two, they had like 1,000. So far, I didn't see 2,000 yet, but they had stores. Here, it only had one. It's from what it looks like. It looked like it came from a mall, because that's a mall picture I'm seeing. Are you seeing this, Josh? No, you're not. But then
No, I didn't close I totally didn't close the link, just because I don't like it taking up precious battery energy.
You might want to give Rev the link again. I gave him the link on Skype, but I don't know how his laptop is working.
He will. He doesn't have a laptop. He uses his phone. He uses his phone.
I don't know if you can link it with the phone, but I gave it to him.
Okay. Well, we'll find out.
All right.
If he ever gets on.
All right, we'll play catch up. We ain't that far from it.
Okay.
Number 4. I never heard of this, and I'm kind of glad I did. And all I see is a Victorian woman next to a chicken background. Minnie Pearls chicken. I wonder why this didn't work.
That sounds adorable, though.
Minnie Pearls. The story of Minnie Pearls chicken has become a curious tale for franchising. In the 1960s, businessman, John J. Hooker. Wow.
Wow. Oh my God. Oh my shit. I'm sorry. We're going over Szechuan sauce, and now we're going over. Hi, Brian. Hi, Rems. It's a good time for you to join us.
It took me a while to figure out how to.
Okay.
But I'm
using
my tablet, so give me a second.
Not a problem, Rev. You're still early, so you're good.
Okay.
Rev?
Yeah.
Before we go, I'm going to give you a quick catch-up right now.
Okay.
You didn't go to McDonald's to get no Swiss Swan sauce, did you?
No, I didn't know about it until like a while after it, like a few hours after it ended, but it wasn't near me anyways, so it wasn't going to happen.
Okay, good.
Shit.
So you wasn't part of that melee that people was having, because they only had 20 sauces in some stores and only 101 and only 10. So
and a bunch of people stole it. Staff members stole it so they could sell it on eBay. So
yeah, I saw it. One was for $1,000.
Yeah.
On a TV show I never even knew existed until now.
Oh, really? It's a good
I didn't
show.
know that.
I'm gonna have to say it's good.
Oh, I tried to explain it to him, but
Obviously it is.
It's a hard one to explain.
Yeah.
Obviously, it must be a good show, because if you're willing to freak out to get a sauce you can get from the freaking Chinese restaurant, you're doing something right.
Right.
And McDonald's is being stupid for trying to promote that thing, knowing that what's going to happen.
Everybody's going to be able to get it in a matter of weeks, anyways, because McDonald's has decided, I wonder why, to bring it back for at least December so far.
Oh.
So that would be their way from keeping people from burning down their stores, I guess, which is stupid. I get it. It's funny. and all that. It's just,
It's
it was
sad.
just a joke. But honestly, people
it's a
just
joke.
wanted it and the memorabilia thing that came with it because the show was so popular. So
It wasn't even. It was Milan sauce. It wasn't even theirs.
I know it's really just like one of their sauces that they still made with one ingredient added to it, pretty much. So it was a stupid little stunt. I don't really think they realized how popular it was going to be until it was too late. But the amount of stuff that they gave out was just a joke. So they quickly realized how popular that show is. So.
Well, here's the gist. We talked about that a little bit. Got your opinion. Now we're on to, before we hit the 80s, we're on to remembering the restaurants as no longer restaurant chains that completely went out of business. Now, this may be more in your alley. You heard of Howard Johnson, right?
Oh yeah, Howard Johnson's, yeah. That's an old one.
Yeah, it's old. I remember it from the Honeymooners. There's only one store left.
Oh gosh.
So
not a surprise. Not a surprise. Kind of a crowded market.
yeah, and they got pushed out. We have the African American hating restaurant called Sambo's. Interesting history with this one.
Mm-hmm.
So I know
Okay.
Denny's is very popular in the West Coast, not most in the East. And we're just going to Kenny Rogers. I didn't know they had a restaurant, to be honest.
Street chicken thing, which became a pop culture thing on Seinfeld.
Yes, which I didn't even. Seinfeld was a New York show, and I never knew this was in New York.
They're kind of in the northern part of the country, surprisingly. A little bit in the south, obviously, but mostly they're scattered. I mean, it's like a greasy Boston rotisserie, which is really saying something about Boston rotisserie chicken.
Well, we got they sold to Nathan's, so they were sold to the hot dog company. That's kind of interesting. In 1998, I don't know if they're still around or not, but I was kind of surprising that they were the Kenny Rogers roaster in New York.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, a bunch of other chains, you've seen them there, but, two weird restaurants like Long John Silver's and Taco Bell in the same building, it's just a conglomerate. You know what I mean? It's not like they give a shit. It's its own little company. It's just really owned by somebody else, So.
That's seemed to be fun. Now we're on to this interesting one. By the way, well, you I don't know if you can, but I have a link on the defunct thing. I'm looking at it right now before you came in. Mini Pearl's Chicken. I don't know what
I've heard of that.
Okay.
I've heard of that in a movie. I've never heard it, known anybody to go there. But most of my friends have all their teeth, so.
Most.
Well, it says here, businessman John J. Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Teamed up with country singer Pearl to launch a chain of restaurants bearing her name. Literally a success. There were nearly 500 locations at one point. However, the lack of coherence menus arrestably sabotaged the food, and the whole franchise fell apart within a few years.
Yeah, that happens.
It's not that hard to make a delicious piece of chicken, so I don't know how.
Well, let me ask you this. All right, what's his name? The guy that walks around with a giant clock on his chest, the hip hop rapster guy. Goes,
an idiot. Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, right? You know that he has a small chain. Yeah, he has a small chain of chicken restaurants. Now, when you look at him, and he is not a clean-looking guy, do you think wholesome fried chicken and waffles? Or do you think you need to take a shower and get rid of a clock? He owns a chain, and pretty much the same thing happened. He got business partners, and they figured out that this was a bad idea, so they torpedoed the business. And I really wish I could remember what that guy's name is, but
Well, maybe be on this list because I'm not even done with this list yet. There's 20 of these restaurants on this list, so they may be on here. But the point is that sometimes you gotta go with your strength, especially if you don't know the pros and cons of owning a chain like that.
Yeah.
But then again,
that's why you always have business partners who have history of it. And the problem with a lot of these places is neither side has any experience with, either they do have experience with a restaurant, but not that style of restaurant. So that's a bomb waiting to go off.
Yeah. And this one is very interesting. I didn't even know that. You heard of this restaurant more than I do because I looked like it came from a movie, and I'm hoping that's not true. Number 5, the All American Burger.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't think we have those in Florida. I'd have to check on that. But I don't believe we have those. Probably nobody does
none of them now. We don't have them anymore. The All American Burger chain was never more than a regional fast food joint. However, it became famous when it was featured in the 1980s teen film Fast Time at Ridgemont High. I didn't know that was the case. The final location.
That's right. Yes. That's where it came from. The All American. Yeah. I feel old.
You are old.
The
you should feel very old.
Oh, good. We're doing 80 stuff. That's very nice. The final location closed in 2010.
Really? I did not know that.
So, Kat, did you ever eat any of our American burgers? They're so delicious that you don't even want to eat them anymore.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I have learned something.
That's all right. Turns out most Americans don't either.
Most Americans don't know many things.
I want to go to UK just for anything else to see if it's true that they sell beer at McDonald's.
Do they?
I just want to go there just for that.
Kat, tell us. Do they sell beer at McDonald's?
If they do, this is the first time I've heard of it.
I think KFC does too.
My God!
But their version of KFC is a lot different from ours.
Healthier? Better?
No, not healthier, just different. I watched a review.
I understand your Burger King chips. I like your Burger King chips. If we get a Burger King here, I cannot eat the chips. I don't know why. I do not like them here, but I go to America and I have them, and I'm fine with them.
I actually had a Burger King in Puerto Rico. I had a...
Not anymore.
Well, no, it was like back when I was like in teenage years, and I went with my grandparents because we have actual family down there.
Oh,
so,
that's great too.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I went to a Burger King was right by one of the hotels, so me and my cousin Stephanie went there sometimes daily. But yeah, the fries there overall, I can't really remember what the fries were like back then, but here in the U.S., they need a shitload of ketchup usually for me.
I actually have had Burger King twice in the last 2 weeks only because there's a deal going on, and I don't get fries. I just don't like Burger King fries. I like McDonald's fries. Well, especially if you get in the 2 Whoppers for $6 thing. If you eat French fries with that, you're just hoping to die soon. Well, maybe that's why I'm eating it.
This is gonna be fun. This is one you guys may not know. You heard of White Castles? Everybody know about White Castles, right?
Yes.
Yep.
No.
You know they had a. Oh, really?
Kat doesn't know about White Castle.
Please educate me.
Don't educate her.
Do you have a Crystals there? Let's ask her that first. Have you ever been to somewhere called Crystals?
No.
Crystal Burger? Okay. Well, they're tiny little cheeseburgers. They're like 2 inches by 2 inches. And you usually order them by the heart attack. I mean, by the dozen. And they have little tiny diced onions. And White Castle was actually known originally because everything was white, and back in the day when they opened, that's when you had a tendency to do everything. And a fast food restaurant was clean, and you didn't have to go get a checkup afterwards. And everybody was so clean and wore white, so you knew everything was clean. But they just sold these little tiny cheeseburgers, and then Crystals ripped them off, and they just but White Castle put little holes in their meat, which I really think is just so they can make a few extra patties. And they're very overpriced. They're very small, and they're like a lot of Japanese penises. Very small, very underwhelming.
Oh God! Cover your ears, Kat. She doesn't really like that sexual talk. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
my mistake.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry for my husband.
Well, you said this.
We
Now,
can't bring him in public.
Rev.
Yep.
They had another rival. It's called White Towers.
White Towers or White Powers?
Of course.
Wait. What was it called? So I hear this clearly.
Towers.
Oh, Towers. Okay, well, this is America, and depending on where in the country, you gotta ask.
Okay, according to this, I never heard of them, so they must have went out of business long ago. The first White Castle opened in 1921 and became the first popular fast food chain as its phone to happy in business numeral manager. I don't know what the hell they're saying. Quickly opened. One of the kickoffs was known as White Towers, opened by John E. Sachs and his son Thomas. White Towers copied White Castle's menu style, advantaging and even agriculture at the height. There was 230 White Towers, but the chain died after legal action from White Castle forcing them to make a significant change. Well,
gee, you don't say.
I wonder why.
I'm looking at this building. It looks like you got this in the middle of the ghetto. It looks the most unfriendliest place in there. This newsstand I'm seeing in the background looks like it's about to collapse. And you have this building. It's supposed to be White Tower. It's a small little building with just 5 lights on it. It looks like it needs to be washed. How did they even I'm surprised to buy that much.
That is pretty messed up.
Trademark must be really soft back in those days.
Yeah. Kmart, wow.
You wasn't even trying. Oh.
Let's see. Can I find
anymore after that?
Hold on, I have to ask my phone to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Open
I never heard
Skype. Oh my God!
You gotta go to Skype.
I was.
I can hear it from the background.
Yeah, I was trying to see if. No, I can't see it. Okay, it's all right. I'm using my tablet to do this because my phone won't let me install Hangouts on the new Note 8. I don't know why.
I'm kind of curious. That's why. The phone must hate. He must hate that Skype. Well, here's one I never heard of before. I don't even think you heard of this, Cat. Cha-chas.
Did you say cha-chas?
I may be saying this. C-H-I-C-H-I-S.
I know
That is another term in America for pooping excessively in liquid form, also known as diarrhea.
It may be Chi-Chi's. C-H-I-C-H-I''S.
It's
probably Chi-Chi's. I really don't think. I would hope that. Never mind, it's America. Continue.
Is it Mexican? It sounds like it would be Mexican from all the jokes I've heard.
Yeah, Chi-Chi's, someone's just called Chi-Chi's. Chi-Chi's was launched in 1970 by somebody who has a name I can't pronounce. Morgano McDermott. McDermott. Okay. McDermott.
Like Ian
and
McDermott.
NFL star Max McGee. The chain quickly grew, introducing a remedy of menus of Mexican-style food to Chi-Chi's. Mexican-style food to many American towns. However, its popularity and versatility of Mexican restaurant grew. Chi-Chi became. What was that?
I didn't do anything.
What was that?
Oh, no, it would have been a notification from my phone.
Oh, you know it's going to do shotgun shells like that? Chi-Chi's began to...
Yeah.
So Chi-Chi's began to die out. The death knelled for the franchise came in 2003 when I have no idea what this guy's name, hepatitis outbreak in the food supply led to 3 customers' deaths. Ooh, that will kill you.
That's not what you want on your review of your restaurant.
Yeah, Mexican restaurant that was growing, and then you had that hepatitis thing. Yeah, that's not good.
But that is not. I think
that's the kind of.
lightly. That's putting it
kinda-
lightly.
It's one of those restaurants you don't review on Yelp. You review it on Gulp. Gulp.
Wow. I'm only at number 7. I'm kind of, I don't know what the other ones are. All right, number 8. Let's see what other restaurant that I probably never heard before. Lim. Lim's
What?
hot dogs.
What is it?
Hot dog. Oh, Lums. I'm sorry.
Nums.
Lums.
Huh.
Lums.
Oh, like num 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 num.
No, Lums. L-U-M. Lums.
Oh,
Lum.
Oh,
lum.
lambs.
That-
Right.
I
They
know.
sell hot dog and
Unusual name.
steamed beer.
Yeah, Jocker Lee
Salt and
has an
steamed beer.
accent, so sometimes he's hard to understand, but within a little bit, you'll get used to it.
Yes.
He's also
What?
American. You can use that to blame
Brothers
anything.
I can use accents to blame anything, and
And you know, it's kind of funny. You guys say you never heard of this, but yet it's in Florida.
oh shit, we're in Florida.
We're in
It's a
Florida.
big state here.
It says Brother Clifford and Stuart Perlman launches Lums in Florida in 1971. The chain beer steams hot dogs and Detective Glass doors storefront made it popular enough to support 400 locations at one point. The Perlman eventually sold the chain to KFC. Oh, that's
Oh, that explains things.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That
for
explains it.
for $4 million. That's actually kind of cheap.
That is
brand was
really
eventually,
cheap.
yeah, that's kind of weird. That they must have really saw something happening. The brand was eventually phased out, and with a final Lums closing in 2009.
How many locations did they have?
400.
400.
For $4 million, you get the building, everything inside, and the most valuable part is actually the land. Oh yeah, they were desperate.
Mhm.
They were. That was the $4 million. I guarantee was a here you go for your troubles type thing. This is the bare minimum. That's like a few $100s probably per store, or a few $1,000s a store. That's
No, I'm kind of surprised.
damn.
I wonder if there's more to the story because it didn't sound like they was doing bad from what I've been reading here. The other one had hepatitis problems. This one didn't even seem like it had anything.
Yeah, that's an improvement. Do I have a calculator? Oh my god, I gotta do this math. Say
That really bothers me.
4,000 or 400. How many locations?
400.
400. He's doing the math for us.
This could take a second. I went to public school.
Yeah. I went to private school, but I'm an English major, so that gives you that information there.
We said 4,000 or 400, right? Locations?
400. 400.
400 locations.
$10,000 per location. That sucks. That's what you call a loss. That's not a loss. That's a lose. You just lose. Probably just covered their legal fees.
Wow. Let me see what
Wow.
number 9 has in store for us.
Good.
Steak and ales. I think I heard of this at one point.
There are so many ale house type restaurants now that anybody can tell one from another anymore. I mean, just around where Josh lives, I know that there's 4 that I've seen in the last week that I was there, and they all look almost identical.
They just popped out of nowhere. Pick me. No, pick me.
Pick
Well,
me.
it says-
Pick me. Pick me.
But it
Shut
says
up,
steak and ales. It says steak and ales was ahead of its time, much like Chi-Chi's whole concept of cheap steak and salad bar. That's your mistake right there. I'm kind of wondering how your steak looks. Cause it needs to be prime. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
To the American marketplace, the concept was an immune success. However, the chain fell victim to its own success. Others took the model and improved upon it, leaving steak and ale in the dust. The chain's final location closed in early 2010. So they hang on until the bitter end, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It's not bad.
So that's the whole. And here's the thing: it's a lesson we learn here. and this is what happens not just for food restaurants, but any business. If people start to improve on your ideas and take it further, you need to go beyond that. You
Yeah,
can't just
you have
assume
to-
your name's gonna help you.
Yeah, you have to keep improving upon your business. You need to stay ahead of everybody else. I mean, a lot of the ones that exist now, they're gonna fall too. I mean, the one over by Josh's house that's owned, co-owner is Gene Simmons, is one of the starting people of the company. I think it sucks. And then there's the Miller Ale House, which is an improvement. But I mean, if you go to the Gene Simmons one, I don't remember what it's called, but they both say Ale House.
Something.
Rockin' Ale or something.
Yeah.
They look identical, but the Gene Simmons ones, you don't have to wait to get a table. I've been there 3 times on a Saturday and a Friday night. Just walked in. But the other one, you got to get one of those. The Miller Ale House place. You give them their phone number and they text you when your table is ready, which is kind of weird. But that place is always packed. It's just kind of a strange thing. I've never been to the other ones, but I guarantee you they're probably just as sucky. None of them are great, but steak, you got to have good steak if that's going to be in your name. If you put a food item in your name, that has to be that all those parts have to be the best part of your menu. You can't cheap out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of chains, this is one actually interesting. Geno's Hamburgers.
Chinos, I've heard of that.
What about
It
you,
sounds
Kat?
familiar.
Kat?
Never heard of it.
They're making a comeback, and I'll explain later. Geno's was founded by, according to this paper, Hall of Famer Geno. Opened the first Geno hamburgers in 1957. By the 70s, he had over 300 locations. He eventually sold it to Macarat in the 1980s, and the hotel chain quickly turned all the Geno's into Royal Rogers. I know everybody heard about them.
Oh, yeah. I've been to a Roy Rogers.
We don't have
Yeah.
Royal Rogers anymore in New York. If we do, it's probably one.
The
In
last one I was
2010
in was in New York a long time ago.
Royal Rogers faded out quickly in New York.
Yeah.
Popeye's making a comeback here, but Royal Rogers they haven't recovered. In 2010, he returned to the restaurant business and opened up a new Geno location. So it may make a comeback. I guess he realized Royal Rogers was messing up. And he said, "You know what? I need my Geno back."
That happens to the restaurants every day. They sell it this, I mean, I'm not talking about chains, but like regular restaurants, independent restaurants, they're sell it to somebody, they'll ruin it, and that just breaks their heart. So they're take it back and they make it a good business again. But usually they don't make a comeback because, people don't know that they've been sold back to the original owner, and all they think about is, oh, last time I went there, I got diarrhea, or last time I went there, I had to add my own graffiti to the menu. I've seen a lot of good restaurants be ruined.
Well, it says here in this one, this one's interesting. I'll put Roy Rogers in this because they fall from grace badly. I don't know about you, but they fell from grace. Burger Chief.
What?
Never heard of that one.
Burger Chief?
Burger Chief.
Oh, please tell me there's no Native American stuff in their name.
Yeah, that's
No,
what I was
honestly,
thinking. It was like either a police thing or a Native American thing.
This looked like a hybrid of Wendy's and a Dairy Queen store. Except you have this chef. I'm sorry, Durga Chef, probably. SHEF.
Okay.
My
Yeah,
bad.
that's chef.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah, but
was
chef,
like.
This
that
don't
makes
even
more-
look really like a burger. It looks like a cartoon show if somebody just decided to put a prop on. It says here at one time Burger Chef had over 1,000 locations and rivaled McDonald's. I find that very hard to believe.
Maybe
The chain
in their local area, but not worldwide.
The chain also introduced several fast food staples to the industry, including kids' meals with toys. However, they were doomed by bad business practices, and Burger Chef was interesting. Burger Chef was sold to Hardee's in 1981.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't see it. I mean, Burger Chef. I mean, this looks like a joke. I'm sorry. I thought McDonald's Archie M was weird. I apologize. You guys have a college. But I didn't even know that. I seen this on cartoon shows.
What?
You think they actually had a restaurant for real?
Really?
Big Boy.
What?
Bob's Big Boy.
Yes, that is that. It went out of business. Bob's Big Boy. Wow. Big Bang Theory, Jash. Sorry. And Big Bang Theory, they talk about Big Boy's burgers.
Yeah, I remember hearing the name, but I didn't know they actually existed.
Everything in Big Bang. It was an episode where Sheldon. It was the first time they went to the Cheesecake Factory, and Sheldon was upset because obviously they eat at the same restaurants every now. And he says, if we were at Big Boy's Burger, I'd be getting a Big Boy Cowboy Burger right now or something. And and then to Penny's dismay, he's like, you know what? I think this actually rivals the Cowboy Burger. And from now on, I think this is going to be our whatever night restaurant. And Penny was like, oh, great. Yeah. So that was in the early stages of the show, season 1.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing about this. Even if you never went to the restaurants, it's iconic. Because when you see their mascot, you automatically you think of Highway, you think of this guy, Big Boy.
Mm-hmm.
He's straight up the 50. That's how iconic he is. And so on to this report, it says Bob Big Boy's double-decker burger and iconic mascot became a staple of American highways of the 20th century. The chain is still holding in about 100 locations in California and the Midwest. It is not expanding, and I think that was the brightest thing they ever did. Stay where you're doing your most success. You don't have to go all crazy, especially with this high demand.
Yeah, it's kind of like Publix or even grocery stores. Like Publix, majority was only in Florida, and they opened up in like the 50s, and just in the last 15 years, they've gone like 3 states out, and that's kind of as far as I think they're going to go. But that's why they're so strong. They're in those Fortune top 500, top 20 companies, and it's a grocery store owned by its employees. So staying small is good. It's easier to control your company.
Well, let's see what this one does. Number 13, Beginnings. I hope I'm saying it right.
Bennigan's.
They're making a slow comeback. We have one here in town, and within the first month, it was shut down 3 times for health code violation.
Oh, God.
And that was the last time I heard it. And it was kind of strange because I drove past the place, and I hadn't seen one in decades. And I was like, that kind of looks like a Bennigan's. I mean, like the sign kind of reminded me of Bennigan's. And after 3 months, I realized, oh
shit,
that's Bennigan's. And then I had already seen the news reports. So I was like, oh, I'm not seeing a Bennigan's. In about a month, I'm going to see a for sale building. And somehow it's still open. I don't know anybody who knows it's there when I mention it, or anybody who wants to go there. So,
according to this report, it says Bennigan's was one of America's first casual dining sports bar chains. However, they always lag behind similar concepts from what in the world is this? Complimentary Fridays?
Never heard of that.
COMTO. I'm going to spell it because I'm not going to try to mess. I'm not going to even try.
Okay.
CONTEMPORARIES.
I got nothing.
No one knows. I'll say it again.
Szechuan sauce? No.
CONTEMPORARIES.
Contarellas?
Okay, we're just going. I'm not the only one having that problem. Something Fridays.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Hold on a second. Okay, I just looked at my TV and there was Sex and the City movie on. Can't have that happening. Continue.
Okay.
Embrace your femininity, Revs.
Applebee's and Chili's. The chain was sold several. Look at this. Your restaurant in Florida was sold several times and filed for bankruptcy in 2008.
Yep.
New ownership have kept 23 locations open in the U.S. You're the lucky one. 'Cause I know it ain't in New York.
Woo, we're lucky. I've never seen more than 1 or 2 cars in their parking lot, and I'm pretty sure those are employee cars. I don't know how it's still open to this day. It's been open almost as long as I've been engaged to Aaron. I mean, Josh, whatever. You know, Evie.
Just start to use Evie. Hey, hang on.
Yeah,
Okay, got it. Ow, it actually sort of hurts to do that. There, I should
honestly,
that better.
If you want to go to Bennigan's and get good food, you go to this place called Applebee's or Chili's or Dumpster, because really none of them are that great. But those 2 restaurants came along. I mean, they are exact copies. They just add a little more sports bar stuff, TVs to the place than Bennigan's had, and that's what it is. I mean, there's nothing special about it. There never really was, but it was the only thing we had for a long time like that around here. And then we got all those other ones flooding in.
I guess you didn't have Ponderosa.
What is it?
Everybody's Ponderosa.
Ponderosa, which is actually a term at Promise that we use for dumpster. Or when we say we're taking something to the Ponderosa, it means you're taking it to the garbage dump. So that's I have really high optimism about this one.
So, and it's also known as Bonaresta Steakhouse. Why are they picking these names? Bonanza.
Hipsters, that's why.
Say that. Spell that again, Jocker.
Bonanza.
Bonanza.
It's Bonanza.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think we have those in Florida.
Have you heard of them?
I think I have heard a relative talk about them. Are they in Florida?
Wait, are they in the UK?
Cat, we need your we need your wise words of wisdom. Is Bonanzas in the UK?
I don't believe so.
Good, you can spare the embarrassment of this film. All right.
Yay!
All right. It says here it's owned by the same. It says here it's owned by the same apparent company, obviously. Numbered in the hundreds, combined in the USA today, the total both stands at under 20 across the country. Wow, it went from 100 to 20.
Yeah, power company there.
I'm gonna go now.
I don't even know how they call it the most popular chain when half the people don't even know what you mean. All right, let me go see what the next one is.
Okay.
Oh, Dip, I didn't know they had. I think I seen this.
Oh, God.
For one time. Charlie Brown's Steakhouse.
Really? Like the cartoon Charlie Brown or just the name Charlie Brown?
Hey, look. It says Charlie Brown's Steakhouse. It don't have Peanuts logo on it. It has somebody shaking your hand. It says the Charlie Brown Steakhouse. It says a steakhouse.
Okay,
Charlie
so it's a
Brown was
steakhouse.
quickly grown in the regional chain. Yeah. Charlie Brown was quickly grown in the regional chain out of New Jersey in the 80s and 90s. The corporation went out of business through some franchise owners have stayed open. So basically, some of the franchise, they're not a franchise anymore. They all went out of business, but
right.
Some of the independent owners still kept the name and kept it going.
So as usual, everything that comes out of New Jersey is just shit.
Did you come out of New Jersey, Revs?
No, I came out of Florida. It's the.
It's just close enough.
It's the area between the scrotum and the anus.
I don't know.
Taint.
You gotta type this up if you get a chance.
What?
I've never seen a restaurant like this before in my life. I never seen something like this in my former life.
I just
Nigel.
Nigel.
Naugles. Like, what the hell is this?
I just don't like these lists when you have to click next for each entry. It's
Oh, now
always-
you're there.
Oh, that's one of those type of things. Okay, I'm looking up the restaurant.
Okay, I got the White Tower.
Nigel. You see the picture?
Okay, I got Chi
Nigel's Restaurant.
Okay, I got Lums.
Nigel's Good Food around North Charleston.
It's number 16.
Oh, found some.
Okay, number 6. I'm going to.
Yeah, 16. It's at 16.
Okay, I'm at 10. I'm counting. I can count.
Oh,
Fuck. I don't
she
like
just
can't. She's an
frustrated.
English major. She can't count.
I can. God damn it. The problem here
We
is that when the
discussed
ads.
this on Friday night.
What? Me liking short people so that it makes me feel better about myself or something else?
Well, yes, we did discuss that, but I meant the whole you being an English major and maths being a complete different language to you.
Druthers? Yeah, Druthers. What the?
It's number 16.
Oh, set
can't miss it.
16. Set 16. God damn it. I clicked. Oh, okay. No wonder I passed this by. I was thinking it was a random image.
Look at this restaurant.
It's like a
This-
satellite. It's like, oh god, there's a restaurant there. Like my eyes didn't first go to that part.
His name is Nigel.
Mhm.
Nigel has a very respectable 25-year run from, really, with that restaurant like that?
Respectable, my ass. My ass has more respect.
Is it a
T7?
buffet type thing? I mean, I saw Nigel's
I'll read it.
Fine Food or fine dining or restaurant, but the food looked like Golden Corral. What it actually looks like, not what it looks like in the commercial, but what Golden Corral actually looks like inside. When you separate all the nearly dead grand age people, you come up to this
25
slop.
It says here it had a 25-year run from 1970 to 1995. A Mexican fast food establishment with location all over the United States. I never heard that one time of this thing. Its charming memento was prepared food fast, serve customers fast, keeps place clean.
Okay, so it follows
says
the
here-
basic rules of health code and restaurant rules. Make food before
says-
the end of the day and make sure it doesn't kill anybody.
Killing
It says here,
by a food is awesome, which is why I'm not allowed to cook.
have to
Yeah,
respect
she's
that,
not.
right? And it says, there was as many as 225 locations by the mid-'80s, with the final one in Carson City, Nevada, closing its doors in 1995. In 2015, the entrepreneur Christine Zambath, I don't care if it's wrong, revealed in the restaurant that there is currently 2 locations in California. California's lucky.
I'm not quite sure that's an actual true thing that California is ever lucky, but
Yeah,
it exists.
No. Yeah,
Never heard
that's
before.
true.
This restaurant looks like it's closed before we even got open. Duxter.
That sucks.
Dexter. This name, man. I don't.
Dexter.
D-U. No, Dexter. Dexter.
Dukes. Yeah, it's
Oh, Dukester. Okay.
yeah.
Never
It's
heard of
like
that
the show.
Also, this is funny. Also known as Burger Queen. Okay.
Burger Queen.
Oh god, I just put food in my mouth. I nearly choked on that.
Was a chain restaurant that opened between 1963 and 81, based in Louisville, Kentucky. The burger fried chicken joint mascot was a giant bee named Queenie Bee. You already messed up right there. Another of the company characters, Danny Tail. What the hell am I reading?
I don't know what you're reading.
I can't see any of this stuff, so I don't know what you guys are doing.
You don't want to know.
And was targeted at kids. In the spirit of the old school slogan, the restaurant motto was, "I'd rather go to Dexter Restaurant." That's not even a logo. That's not even a motto.
That's not a logo. What the, like? That's not a motto. That's like what I say. and I don't say smart things.
That's like saying,
obviously.
"Ooh, I'd rather my choice is to go to eat dinner at a public library or this restaurant. I'd rather go to a restaurant."
I'd go to the library. You bring your food, you eat there. You go into the corner where the librarian can't easily see you. You snack as you, do school stuff late at night.
Well, there's one remaining. There's a couple remaining in Campbellsville, Kentucky, and must visit there sometime. They sound interesting. Let's see what number 18 looks like. I'm surprised no Roy Rogers in here. Hardy Birdie, what is this?
What is it?
Henry's Burgers.
Henry's Burgers?
Right? 99 cents.
How do you spell it?
Henry. Apostrophe S. Henry's.
Henry. Yeah, it's Henry. That sounds somewhat familiar.
In the 1950s, businessman in the restaurant industry was attempting to mimic the success of McDonald's. You can't do that. It's not going to work. And thus, you had establishments such as Henry's. Henry was a major player in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. By the early 60s, there was over 200 of them, more than McDonald's had at the time. Failure to adapt the industry's changed competitive form, other fast food burger chains, and the controversy involving the use of a horse meat.
What? Oh my God! I remember some rumors or something being said about horse meat in IKEA.
IKEA. That actually was that was true.
Okay,
but you got to understand that is a different country that IKEA is from, and if you've ever seen their furniture, that shouldn't shock you.
I went to IKEA like Mom and Maddie were like, "Hey, Aaron, let's go to IKEA for the afternoon." So we started with eating at the little restaurant, which was the best part of the trip, because it's a big fucking store, and so
never been to one or seen one.
And so I'm like, at first it's nice, and then I get really fucking claustrophobic for some reason, thinking there's not actually an exit. Like, I seriously believed that there was actually no end, that this was going to be my life. And so I started not really running, but speeding ahead beyond Mom and Maddie. I'm like, "Oh, wait near the exit." So once I saw an actual exit to this nightmare, there was a couch by a few feet from the exit line, so I just sat there waiting.
So a furniture store actually has a restaurant in it?
Yeah. It's a big fucking store.
See, that's why when I heard these rumors, I thought this was just a restaurant with the same name. So it is actually the same place, I realized after a while. But
he doesn't know the horror.
But I mean, if they can't make furniture you can put together, it makes sense. They don't know how to put a meal together either properly. They just take random shit, bang it into the hole, and then wait for your friend to come along and lay something on it and break and go, "Oh my God, you broke my furniture. You're going to have to buy me something from a real store." That's what you do with IKEA.
Well, I never had IKEA furniture, so it doesn't apply to me. But what I'll say about this is that it shouldn't shock nobody that horse meat is one of the delicacies in certain restaurants, especially when the United States do have a slaughterhouse where they slaughter horses and ship them to the other countries. However, nobody wants to eat horse meat in their menu here. Yeah. And it doesn't surprise me that let them down for. It says only one Henry's in Benton Harbor, Michigan remains.
Harvard.
Wow. I didn't know you could serve horse meat in America. I didn't know that. That's interesting. I'll be sure to steer clear of that place.
Pippin Taco.
I'm out.
They spelled this wrong. P-U-P.
Wow.
P-U-P, and it says, I think it's Teco, or what? T-A-C-O.
Taco. It's taco.
Okay, I was right.
Yeah.
Okay, it says here, Pippin Taco had a very dissatisfied menu. That ain't even waste no time.
Jeez.
you could get tacos, hamburgers, hot dogs, and a pastrami sandwiches. So
What the
what does that have
fuck?
to do with Mexican food?
Let's see
What does hot dogs have to do with it?
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
tacos.
start
You get a
drinking.
taco, hamburger, hot dog.
What? Damn.
It says the first restaurant opened in 1965. The sets came quickly after that. By 1973, there were 62 of them. In 1969, this doesn't surprise me. In 1984, Taco Bell bought 99 Pippin taco restaurants in California, but not to these stores in. I have no idea where the hell this is. I don't know what this name is.
That's okay. Nobody goes there.
By the name Pippin Taco picture, those stores are finally closed in 2010. All right. The name that they had, I was just looking at it, I said I couldn't even do it. It's LAPUQUERQUE. Whatever it is, you guys can tell me later. Nobody can figure that out.
I got no idea.
Why do you ask me
I mean,
anything?
it sounds like all they did was go to a butcher shop, buy some random discounted items, and then got some cheap bread and said, "Here you go. Here's some random crap you could have made at home."
All right, I'm gonna read the last one before we head to the 80s. Is kind of funny. I'm gonna read their model here. Better burgers on better buns, special sandwiches, scrumptious salad bar, spectacular potatoes, and full of menu naturally nutrient-light fast food. We're convinced that you just what America needs. Come in soon. We think you agree with us. This is from Delights. Anybody heard of Delights? Anybody heard of them?
Nope.
You got a Delights restaurant near you? Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's the light.
Doesn't sound like anybody does.
Delights used a rather unusual tactic for fast food restaurants, selling itself to its natural values. It boasted about how low-calorie cheese buns, high in fiber, hamburgers made with lean beef. You shouldn't have to brag about that, but let me just continue.
You don't need to.
No.
1978.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
so they sell tasteless, crappy food that is the complete opposite of the definition of fast food. It sounds like they're trying to keep me alive longer. That's why it didn't work in America. If I go to a drive-through, I want to go to the first window and pay, the second window to pick up my food, and the third window to get a script to go to see a cardiologist. And then right after that, if you got a large size, there is an undertaker at the end. With the old-fashioned coffin, and he's got his tape measure out, top hat and all.
Well, it says here it was founded in 1978. Yeah, it said it was founded in 1978. There were more than 100 locations by 1985. Success was
this in California?
I don't know. It didn't say. It says success was flickering through. The company ceased franchising in 1986 and filed for bankruptcy. A year later, it sold 90% of its restaurants to Hardee's. Hardee's was just taking people's. We'll take this.
Yeah, take that.
It's not surprising. I mean, that's what these chains do, and really, they don't care about the restaurant. They want the building. As friends of ours who their restaurant had to close and they have to find a new location, the thing about it is when you go to open a restaurant, if it doesn't have a kitchen in it already, it'll cost 4 times whatever you paid for the property to make it a legal kitchen in a restaurant. And then you got to buy all the damn equipment, get it all inspected and zoned and coded and all that. So a lot of times they just buy these buildings to turn into another restaurant. And if it's fast food, that's super easy. So it doesn't really surprise me. And, it's super cheap at that point. You don't have to do anything but put your equipment in it, and sometimes, they can still use the existing equipment. They just put their crap around it. But it's a pretty common business practice. I mean, even in office buildings, think about that. somebody opens up a company, wires it and all that for IT stuff, go out of business. Well, that's the most expensive thing about making an office building is running cables and crap like that. So it's pretty standard. But I mean, Hardee's, that's just, I haven't eaten at Hardee's since I was like in elementary school, and I'm pretty sure that's why I'm still alive. That and I don't go to Taco Bell.
Oh, come on. Where's your sense of adventure?
Right in my colon. You know, so, yeah, Hardee's. I mean, doesn't Hardee's have another name? Oh, Rally's, right? I think Hardee's and Rally's and Checkers and... no, Riley's is Checkers. Hardee's and something else. Carl Jr.'s, that's what I think. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
It's amazing how they got so many brand names.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that that these restaurants I have these restaurants I never heard of. Some of the restaurants is just like grounded in locations. Like we used to have Sonic, and they just couldn't handle New York, so they left.
That would be a weird place
Hardee's,
for Sonics. Yeah.
We do have a Hardee's. It's just you got to look for them because Hardee's. I think it's
Same
like one
here.
of those mall type things.
Yeah, we only have one Hardee's on our. And I mean, if I drive for 30 minutes, I can only think of one Hardee's. And it's busy, though. I will say that. It was actually, I lived next to it. I lived next to it like a go-kart place, and then the parking lot was a Hardee's. And then ironically, next to that was a cardiologist office. So, you know, you could have some fun, get a heart attack, and the doctor was right there.
Yeah, great place to have a heart attack, you know.
Yeah. So.
All right. So we just learned about a little bit about the restaurants that we didn't care about. Kat, again, you were spared the pain and suffering of these fast food joints.
Yeah.
No.
The Hardee's does look like they have an awesome breakfast menu. I'm just not driving that far to get it. So that's my only takeaway from that entire list. Is now I want to try their breakfast.
Well, don't worry. That's why they got friendlies.
Biscuit.
We're not going to do a top 5 list. Like I said before, we don't really need to. I want to stay focused on this. And we're doing good timing. So let's get right straight to the 80s. Josh, you're not an 80s kid. You're a 90s girl.
I've watched 4 80s movies today alone.
See, I told you
one of them was Back to the Future.
Better choice for an 80s person. He knows shit.
Well,
literally and figuratively.
You're gonna hear a lot of fun here. But here's the thing: we don't even need necessarily go full in the 80s. Let's just ask ourselves this one question, especially with you, Reb.
Okay.
Out of the 3 decades we're gonna be talking about, 80s, 90s, and today. Actually, 4 decades if you want to call it that.
Okay.
Why is it the 80s are always the most memorable when it comes to certain movies, especially with genres that are no longer exist?
Well,
nobody do high school movies no more.
Right. That's the thing is, they don't do a lot of high school. I mean, they did. I mean, 90s was the second place for like late 90s. There were a bunch of high school movies and then parodies of every high school movie. But in the 80s, that was just like a thing. I mean, you had Battle of the Sexes type movies. Then you had your high school, you know, young teen, you know, mid-teen movies. And then you had your, you know, full-on movies. I mean, it was just a big change in movies. And it was the beginning of, like, special effects and stuff, so you could do kind of some cool stuff back then. I mean, we got Blade Runner from the 80s. Come on. I mean, that was a big thing. We got Terminator. You know, sci-fi movies were pretty big in the 80s. I mean, a lot of the best franchises started in the 80s. You know, even the Batman, with Michael Keaton. Remember, that was my favorite Batman still. That was the 80s, you know. It was just an interesting time. TV was changing and movies were changing. Married with Children changed television. We unfortunately got Fox in the 80s, which you know, back then Fox was neat because Fox was very hard to find on television. That's why Married with Children was able to get away as much as they did, and you know, it changed the way we have television today. I mean, sadly, most of the shows that I like are from Fox, and they do some more adult, you know, type entertainment. So, but 80s
So
was
here's
just
my
an interesting
question.
time.
Here's my interesting question here.
Okay.
Do you remember when you look at the movies now? Give a percentage of how many will be classic that they will be constantly talked about again and again and again, will be shared with children and grandchildren and great grandchildren.
Okay, well,
Do you see some of these films doing that? Because here's the thing: whenever
yeah.
they talk about classic films, even the bad ones, they always reference 80s, early 90s. A prime example is Mr. Say Good film, Back to the Future trilogy.
Mhm.
Now, keep in mind, I don't know if people realize this. Back to the Future was supposed to be a raunchy high school comedy film, not a sci-fi film.
Right.
Raunchy.
Uh,
It had
yeah,
curse words
they
in it. It
they
had
pull.
love, and it had a lot of. Every movie had manure in it.
Oh shit. Okay, there's my humor for the night.
Let me say this, okay? Me and my friend, we like to go to one of the theaters in towns. I don't remember what chain it is. I think it's Premiere or something. They are showing classic 80s and 70s, 80s and 90s movies. The last one we saw was Sandlot, but we saw Spaceballs, okay? And we thought there might be maybe 20 people in there around our age or older. There were a lot of young kids there with their parents that are my age. And we were super stoked at this because not only did they come to the movie, because it had the word balls in the name, but they laughed their asses off. And I didn't see anybody take their phone out in the movie theater, which I hate that, by the way. And I want to just throw rotten eggs at you or condoms full of excrement. But not tied. You never tie the condom that way.
Oh,
but
What the fuck?
that movie theater was nearly packed.
I'm sorry, Cat.
It's poop. It was nearly packed, and it was just, you could see everybody, me and my friend's age, were lipping every single line from the movie, and their children were just falling over laughing. I mean, and that was just the first one we went to see. I mean, we've seen a couple 80s movies there, and it's always awesome to see young people there, you know, getting into it. And it's not like it's a discounted movie or something. It's full movie, ticket price. I mean, it's a matinee, but still, it's like $10 a ticket. It is always packed. 80s still brings in money. I honestly think it brings in more money at that movie theater than a lot of new movies.
But why is that? I mean, because it's not like you can get it on DVD. It's not like you can get going. And why is it that the 80s and even the 90s, to a certain extent, seems to have more of a staying power, more of a draw that you can go pay to $10, $15 even to see a film that was already out? What is it that they have done?
The movies were original. Nobody has, even when they remake those movies, which I usually don't like when they do, those older versions like Ghostbusters and stuff, they're just better. There's not a bunch of high-end computer effects and stuff. The storylines make more sense, more physical comedy in them. The stories were just better and easier to follow, and more relatable. And I mean, even some of those movies still relate today. I mean, just put a cell phone in their hand and pretty much do the same thing as today, you know? I don't know. It just seemed like they put more effort into movies back then, you know, and they didn't cost nearly as much as movies do today, you know, and yet they came out with a better product. I just think people tried harder back then. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, I watched two 80s movies I'd never seen before today, and I enjoyed both of them. And I don't know. I just think comedy was better back then. It wasn't as dirty, but it was just as funny. I don't know. It's just
So, Kat,
interesting.
What's your feeling? 'Cause you have watched a couple of '80s movies in the UK, whether it's UK filming or just a blend of mix America and UK. Do you feel there's a big difference, a change that many people grow more into the '80s films? What's your feeling of this? Because I know you wasn't an '80s girl, but you have watched something that became the '80s. Do you feel there's a big difference in quality that you prefer some of the '80s stuff than the films that are being out right now?
Well, I think, like Revs said, we tried harder back then. Plus, I think that like even if you're a bit young to be an 80s kid, there's still like it can still give you nostalgia just by by saying like, hey, this is what we used to be like, and we're still really popular. Here is our heart and soul, and we're sharing it with all of you, even 20, 30, whatever years on.
30
That's a-
something.
30, yes.
We both can't count.
Well,
we-
Josh,
It's just because I was born then. So.
you're the only one who hasn't said anything. What's your feeling on this whole thing? And you can't tell me you haven't watched any '80s films.
I have watched. I was looking up to see when 2001: A Space Odyssey was released, but it was
So
released.
it's pre-80s.
Yeah, it's
the 70s.
1968. 60.
Oh, 68.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I was fucking
Wow.
shocked.
'70s.
Man, I thought it was the mid. She said it's 68. I think that's crazy.
I fucking looked it up. That's why I was sort of being really silent, just looking at the screen for a second. I'm like,
I think
I
most
knew
of the
it was
80s
old.
movies that Josh has seen is because I've made her see them.
I've watched Back to the Future, all three, without Revs' help.
and you saw
When
Terminator.
was Jaws? Yeah, I've seen Terminator. When was Jaws made? Because I saw Jaws.
I think that was 79 or 80.
In the '70s.
Shit.
Yeah,
In the
it was
70s.
late 70s.
I guess I like all this, ancient sci-fi shit. Okay, I'm going to look up when Westworld was released because I'm pretty sure it's pre-80s.
I think
but
that was 90s.
Let's see.
Oh, the television show? I thought it was in the 90s.
The
That's in the '70s too.
that's
I'm watching
The
film in the
original-
'70s. You skipped the '80s.
God damn it. But no, I don't want the goddamn TV show. 1973. Damn it.
Wow. That show's going on.
No, it's not a show. It's
I meant
originally
the
released as
the-
a movie.
Yeah,
The
that genre, or I don't know what you call it, that
genre.
franchise.
Hybrid. Let's
Franchise.
call it.
Yeah, there was Westworld, then the sequel was Future World, and before the HBO Westworld show, there was a short-lived Westworld TV show.
Yeah, I'm glad I finally watched that show on HBO.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
But yeah, god damn it, but like god damn it, I meant to say Back to the Future, and I said Westworld. But that
Alright, so
didn't-
here's a
was
question,
good.
Rob.
And I've seen parts of Ghostbusters, and that was good. Yeah.
Good answer.
Horrible.
You got things like The Goonies.
I never seen the Goonies.
I have it on DVD. I
Never
bought
seen
it.
Goonies.
It was an impulse buy. It was like $2 at Walmart, and I was like, I'm taking that. It was the only one left, and it was in that discount bin. I was like, this don't belong in there.
Yeah,
I actually
that's-
put a movie.
That's a classic.
I actually took a movie off the shelf and threw it in the bin. Trying to remember what it was. Oh, it was the new Ghostbusters. I threw that in the bin out of anger. I was like, and if there had been any more Goonies, I would have put them on the shelf in the same place. But
That's bad. That's bad.
your question, Jocker.
All right, so my question is this: we grew up in the '80s, so we knew about the film The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, She Having a Baby.
Yeah,
We
there's a good
grew
one.
up with Pop Up the Volume, Fairly
Mr. Mom. Michael Keaton ruled the 80s. Man, he made so many good movies in the 80s, Michael Keaton.
I
never
got an 80s movie that I saw and love. The Thing.
Working Girl.
The
There
Thing.
you go.
1982.
I saw
Working
that
Girls.
last
Okay,
week when
so
I was
my
staying
question
over at
is-
my friend's.
Will we ever see the high school genre? I'm talking about the real high school genre make a comeback, or it's officially dead?
It's dead because you can't make a movie for teens today, because all you would be showing is an iPad screen. I mean, teenagers today, they don't talk to each other. They don't, it's depressing as hell. And this isn't just teenagers, but they date online, and when they go on dates, they talk on their phones in the same room, through a texting. No, Facebook, I mean, they made a horror movie a teen horror movie based on a video chat thing, where something was killing him, some dead girl, I mean, and that was a crappy movie, by the way. I saw that.
I haven't seen it, but from the trailers, it doesn't interest me, but hearing about how it was filmed, it's one of those films where the behind the scenes are much better than the actual movie.
Go ahead, Kat.
You're gonna really hate the other ones coming out.
Okay, Kat, can you speak
Unfriended,
now? Finally, shut up.
Unfriended, I think they came out yet in our region yet. I know what you're talking about. I seen the poster.
No, it was.
Well, I don't remember what it was called.
It was something else. It was before. It wasn't
like Friend Request or something.
No, wait. Friend Request is the new one. Unfriended is the old one.
Yeah, it came out like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, they're so.
Yeah, Blumhouse.
Yeah, with a Friend Request, it has one of the actresses from Fear the Walking Dead, and from what I've heard, it was actually released. Like, it was one of those movies where its actual release date was heavily delayed from when it was actually made.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Kat, were you going to say anything?
Yeah, Kat, what were you going to say?
I was just trying to guess the name of the film that Josh was talking about.
Yeah. But I mean, what I was trying to say about teens today is, I mean, everything just revolves around cell phones. I mean, if you look at every teen-like movie, it revolves around something involving Facebook and text messages and stuff.
Yeah, this was I believe this was a Netflix show. I haven't seen the first season, nor have I read the book, but it does deal with teen stuff, and it doesn't deal with Facebook and shit, and it's 13 Reasons Why.
I mean, 80s and 90s get away with it.
So you can do stuff about teens and not have the main focus be something stupid like Facebook or Twitter. They're still capable. Yeah.
They just don't seem to really work anymore. I mean, 90s even, you had a bunch of those in the late 90s, early 2000s that I remember coming out, like Can't Hardly Wait and stuff like that. But I mean, those were times where people were starting to have cell phones and beepers and pagers. And I remember being a nerd, so I come home and I kick on AOL Instant Messenger, which will disappear very soon. But I mean, that was it. I mean, you had AOL, but that wasn't that kind of a thing where you sat on there all day and all night. Internet was a less common thing. And if you did, most people still had dial-up in Florida. We didn't get broadband until I was 19 or 20. We didn't get a cable modem in our house. So, I mean, it wasn't the same kind of internet that we had today. It was still mostly, adult stuff. But now everything they do is through their cell phone. It's not just them, it's us too. I mean, look at us. We're all sitting here right now on mobile device and laptops, I mean.
Or both. What?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you got to think that's just things changed. I just don't think it works anymore. Everything else can work, just not the teen stuff anymore. I mean, animated maybe. I mean, more animated stuff is towards them, but it's just a different world. I think that genre is dead for a while. So it's sad, but that's just the way it is. I mean, most of them are horror movies. So
it's kind of funny because horror film was a dying art in the 80s. You only had Freddy, you only had Jason, and you'd be lucky to get something else in between.
You had Aliens, and then you had a bunch of crappy ones. I mean, we did have some good horror sci-fi type films, but it was kind of thing.
No,
there were some in the 80s. So.
Okay. Okay. See, I
Horror
didn't
was definitely on
stuff.
its way out.
Horror
All right,
was
so
kind of making a comeback with zombies and vampires, but I mean, unfortunately,
they never
thanks to
left.
TV, we wore those the fuck out. So they're dying off again. We'll probably get them again in 5 to 8 years, but until then, everybody's sick of them.
The Strain did some very good version of vampires, something that most movies didn't do. You know, at least recently, it wasn't a lovey-dovey vampires. They were really brutal monsters. And so it was a very interesting take on it, and it just finished its last season. So I won't be able to wait for it every year now.
Oh, you just have to wait
But
on zombies.
Oh, you mean wait on you?
if you can give me a cat, if you can give me a top 5, not that 10, just 5 movies that you deem will ever be a classic that was an 80s film, what would it be?
Who are you asking
I'll
first?
start with you.
You cat.
Oh boy, I don't know. I didn't compile a list. I'm trying to remember what I've seen that's actually from that time in my head. Yeah, RoboCop, Terminator.
You got a lot of animation, so I know that's going to be in your list.
Oh, animations. Oh, hang on, let me think. What animations are from the 80s? Crap.
Like 5-0 Mouse.
Does anime count as animation?
Yeah, I saw Kira in
Stick to stuff
1989.
that let's stick to stuff that was in movie theaters. You know, like broadly.
I
That
don't
way-
know
was
what
in movie
was
theaters.
in movie theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Everything
saying.
I've
Like
ever
no
seen has
anime.
been on
Don't do
tape.
anime.
Oh god, I just want to make sure. Like this, one of my favorites is here. Okay, Princess
It's funny.
Mononoke.
I'm
Because
surprised you didn't say nothing about Tron.
I haven't
Oh yes.
seen.
That was
Because a lot
that's
of
not
people
my
love
top
that film.
5. But
I've only
Mine
seen
either. I'm so-
one on tape, but yes.
how many is that? Is that
Well,
5?
I'll start off. I got 5, and I'm picking them from each genre because
Okay.
there's a reason why. They're the one that impacted me. Return of the Living Dead is one. That was
Okay.
my zombie film. Even though I did a
right.
review, Return of the Living Dead. Back to the Future. And I didn't see Back to the Future in theaters. I saw it on television, and when I saw it in theater, when I finally saw it on video, I was kind of surprised how much they edit out on television. That was mine.
Okay.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's number 3.
There you go. That's a good one.
Unforgiven was really my first taste of the crime drama. It gave Sean Connery his only award in the Academy. That's number 4, and of course Ghostbusters. Even though I grew up with the television show, when I finally saw the movie, I was hooked for life. Those are my 5 in the 80s.
Okay.
Reb,
All right, Aaron.
what you got?
Oh god, I go first.
Hold on, I gotta look up to make sure I'm not gonna. I gotta make sure when one movie was made, because I'm kind of gonna go with some genres. Some not genres, but franchises. Oh my god, I forgot he was in the. Oh, that's right. Shit. Oh man.
Oh god.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Well, I'm pretty sure this was in 1980 or 82. Two of my biggest movies are Animal House and Blues Brothers. Blues Brothers, I'm pretty sure Blues Brothers was just squeaking by in the 80s. Let's see. I want to pick some that nobody else has picked here. Okay. Beetlejuice. Hot Shots.
You got a lot of movies you got in here.
And my 5th one, let's say, I'm going to pick a movie I just watched last night, which I love this movie. It is a interesting movie, and it's a comedy, and it's called Defending Your Life. And it's got Meryl Streep and oh God, what's his damn name? Anyway, it's got a shitload of people in it, big talent in it. Well, not a shitload. There's 3 or 4 of them, but it was a good movie, and it's about a guy who dies, and you're in this purgatory type
Oh
state.
God damn it! I remember that one. I've actually seen
and
that.
you're I've made you watch it. Yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't make me watch it. I had to watch it.
Okay,
it
I know
for
what you're saying.
school.
You're in like a courtroom and you're defending your life. It's in his lawyer's ripped torn, and they're showing parts of your life to decide if you're going to move forward into the universe, because they don't actually say heaven or hell or anything. It's not supposed to be about religion. And it's just this whole city that they stay in between court hearings, and all the restaurants, you never gain weight or anything, so you eat all the best of food. So there's a sushi bar. But this one thing that it's one of my favorite parts of the movie. It's so stupid. They're in a sushi bar. You know, and back then when you walked in sushi bar, everybody greeted you and sang in Japanese, and they yelled out. Well, this one guy is talking to you goes to get up, and he says, "Sayonara." He's like, "I'm just gonna go take a piss," and they go, "Taking a piss." You know, it's a interesting movie, and it talks about judgment after life without throwing any religion at all. And I find that interesting. And the whole thing is either you move on or you get sent back to start, life over again.
Oh God, yeah,
in a different person.
It has been living this really shitty life, and then the woman, his love interest, was like this
Meryl Streep.
knight, was this knight in a past life, and so it's really funny when they go to the hall where you can see your past lives, and,
defending your life.
Yeah, and you see them side by side, and that's
Albert
pretty
Brooks.
amazing.
Albert Brooks. It was the first movie that he wrote, directed, and he was the main star and one of the main producers. He wrote a bunch of movies in the 80s, and from this movie, he used a lot of the same people like Debbie Reynolds and stuff like that. She was in it. Oh, God, that would be another amazing movie. I have to put a 6th one in there, and that's Mother. And if none of you have ever seen this movie, Mother, it's a comedy. Go watch it. And you will laugh your ass off because everybody can relate to it. And it's all about this man in his 40s, gets divorced, moves back home with his single mother, and has to deal with all the same crap he did when he was a teenager, and living in his old bedroom again with all his toys, and going shopping with his mother, and all the things that older people do that just annoy the shit out of you, but you can't do anything about because it's your mom. So, yeah, that's my list right there. I mean, I literally could go on for about another 20 minutes about movies.
He could.
I love 80s movies. If my friend Joe was here, this thing would have to be just about 80s for 6 hours. Yeah. And the only reason it would be 6 hours is eventually you have to sleep.
Josh?
Yeah. I'm just waiting that he's done. Okay. Already mentioned The Thing, which is great of the tension it builds. I actually had to show this to Revs. I hadn't really believed he didn't see it. It's just great.
I've seen parts of it, but not the whole thing.
Yeah. You would tell me that I had never actually seen the film if I told you that. But it was just the tension they set up. You have this place where no one can get to, no one can help, and shit goes down, and there's paranoia, and it has been echoed, like the X-Files had The Thing episode to it. It's just one of those things that has permeated through, different media. Like that's Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Just because that's the one I've seen the most.
That's the one with Sean Connery. That's my favorite one out of all of them.
Yeah,
that is the best Indiana Jones.
My dad, whenever my dad showed me Indiana Jones, 9 out of 10 times it was The Last Crusade. I think maybe twice I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, and maybe once I've seen The Temple of Doom. But yeah, The Last Crusade is... Yeah, I love it.
It's a good thing that was the last Indiana Jones film ever made, too.
Exactly. They ended on a really strong high note there.
You guys don't. Okay, that's, you know what? Just disrespecting the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
No one.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of that in my life.
No one the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did disrespected the fucking Indiana Jones series. That's what it fucking did.
Is that the movie about the vodka that comes in the glass skull?
Yeah, exactly, Revs.
All right,
No, good.
do review.
Okay, Star
We gotta end this.
Star Wars
Okay.
Episode 5,
Oh
That
God,
was
she's not done listening. That's right.
1980. What? What the?
I forgot
bitch
you hadn't
said?
finished listing. I forgot you weren't done listing your movies yet.
Gosh.
How many is that? Is that 5?
No, that's 3.
Oh, good
Bitch.
God.
God. Okay, be quiet. I'm trying to. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. When was
that
that
80s?
released? Oh, damn,
Are
it
you
was
looking-
1975. It
That
was
was
1975.
70s.
God
Yeah.
damn it. Fuck. So, God damn, I'll just leave it at 3 and end on a high note like the Indiana Jones series did. Or else we'll seriously be here for like 5 or 10 minutes.
You could say Blade Runner.
Oh, Blade Runner came out in the 80s?
Yes. I
Blade
mentioned that
Runner,
earlier.
IMDb.
Oh my God.
1982.
Yes, I told you.
I know, but you are a very smart man, so I had to double check. Blade Runner is good too. The aesthetics it used, the what is it to be human? You know, the whole Deckard doubting it if he was a human or not. And I mean, the replicants got fucking screwed over because, like, humans stupidly decided to give these creations really intelligent AIs, and then they're like, sweep the floors and shit. And they weren't,
Like what we do
expecting
now.
them to. And they didn't expect them to say, hey, we're people too. And it continued with the sequel, which is actually one of the very few long-awaited sequels that actually did well.
Nobody was waiting for that, Josh. Josh, nobody was waiting for that. That film bombed badly.
No, I
The
heard.
new
Film
one?
bombed bad.
Yeah, it did. Okay, let me
Oh
say
my
that.
God, that theater was packed.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that's
I
the
just
best
wanna-
movie
I
I've
just
seen in
wanna
20
say
years.
This. I just want to say this. I believe I heard the original Blade Runner bombs, so I'm just going to say it's the same great quality as the original, and history will prove that to be the case.
Was it better
Let
than
me
the
just-
original?
It was.
It was. I don't know if it was better. It was right on par. You felt like you really only moved that much time from the first one. They kept the scenery and everything
The music.
perfect. The soundtrack. This is the only movie I can tell you in the last 20 years that I didn't get bored. I didn't look around the theater. I couldn't take my eyes off this screen, and we saw it in IMAX. It was the most beautiful movie I've seen in a long time, an intense movie, and the story just keeps moving along perfectly. Only thing would have been better is if they were showing it in 3D maybe, but honestly, me and my friend who's a big 80s junkie too, we both came out of there just we wanted it. We know it was a really long movie, but we could have watched it for another 2 more hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that good a movie. I suggest you see it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's bombing because that thing was packed.
It
They
was good.
sold out every day. That movie, it's an amazing movie, and I love the story and confuses the hell out of you in points but it's a good confusing. Makes you keep questioning things.
Yeah, and so, to bring this back on point, with the first movie questioned humanity, the difference between human and machines, and the sequel it continues it. At one point, this question of the soul is brought up, and the Kay, the main character, brings up that what's the difference between a human and a machine, and when I won't spoil the plot twist, though it's said early on, but once this revelation, is talked about by other replicants, they're like, then there's going to be no difference between a replicant and a human. And one of the plot twists that the people are trying not to get out is because this woman knows if it does, then the structure will change because people will really have to have this question thrown in front of them and decide what to do about it. That there might not actually be a difference between man and machine.
And the funny thing is the way that they treat AI is exactly how we treat AI today. You have Google Home, Alexa, and whatever piece of shit Apple's going to release that nobody will give a shit about. You literally tell it to make lists, play messages, and actually vacuum the floor. You know, I mean, and turn on television shows and stuff. I mean, and that's about as comfortable as people are with AI. A lot of people want it to go further than that. I would like it to go further than that, but not too far, but not as far as they took it in Blade Runner. But, you know, it's a very interesting thing, and it was an amazing. I guarantee if you go to see it in IMAX first of all, because it was shot in IMAX, and it should only be shown in IMAX and with the sound system.
Oh God, my butt was vibrating through so much.
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought you were sitting on a subwoofer. I mean, I looked down at my bottle of water, and it was like Jurassic Park. You could see the vibrations. It was great. But I mean, I have never been to a movie that I can remember that I did not get bored in. I mean, I really get bored in movies, and this movie just didn't. I was like, holy shit.
So, obviously, this is better than Tron Legacy.
I actually liked Tron Legacy. I thought that was, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was great. Just do not bring up the video game, and we're fine.
And don't bring it up. Video game that it sucked.
Christ.
And he played it to the end, even though every day I would hear him ranting about it.
I will play every video game, and I'm a trophy hunter. I have to unlock every achievement. But this game, I understand why it was free when I got it. I mean, I wouldn't have paid $1 for this son of a bitch. And I scream at video games all the time, just like most people. I'm insane, and I yell at televisions. This game was just the stupidest fucking thing I have played in so long. And I literally played a game the other day where I'm a piece of toast and you're trying to flip it around in a building. Yes, that's it. Jesus Christ,
I Am Bread?
Yes.
I Am Bread,
yes. Yeah. That's a 1,000 times better game. You're a piece of toast and you can burn it.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you saw me. I actually bought that for $1. I'm not really proud of myself. I am a little bit.
You're not proud.
You know, let's not. I don't want to talk about that game anymore because I'll have to go and take another anxiety pill, and then throw my Xbox 360 out the window. I'm not throwing my Xbox One. I'll sacrifice the 360. But yeah, I mean, that's the 80s, man. I could talk about 80s forever. Not so much remakes. I really don't like a lot of remakes. Some do it okay, but I mean, Ghostbuster was a terrible example. Batman, we did okay with bringing that one back, but. I'm surprised Erin didn't have Terminator 2 on her list, or any
I'm
Terminator.
sorry, I only was getting through a few
to
make sure. It's goddamn.
Was it in the 90s?
Yeah.
I mean.
Was it 92?
92 sounds about right. Hang on, let me check.
Oh man.
Hang on, peeps. Terminator 2 IMDb.
Too lazy to type. She learned that from me.
It's 1991.
Oh, okay.
You're like a girl.
I saw it in 92 on HBO. And Terminator 2 has the best arcade game I've ever played. It had these two big machine guns. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, Terminator 2 was good, and I'm glad that they didn't keep the deleted alternate ending.
I've never seen it. I don't want to see it.
Good. But basically what happens is Sarah Connor is, like, Judgment Day never happened, John Connor is president, and
so you wouldn't have been able to make any more movies, yeah.
And Sarah Connor got drunk on got drunk on the day that would have been Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not even the point of continuing the franchise for me, but it's just like, really, this movie, like Terminator 2, was when Sarah Connor was at her most iconic, And then you're telling me at the end you're just going to say, yeah, I got drunk and I'm a lazy bastard and I'm, totally fail you as a character? No. That's almost as bad as her dying from cancer off screen in Terminator 3.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Like that level. Bad.
All right,
that bad.
there's our top 5.
So, my initial feeling about the 80s has always been it was fun, entertaining. It's always had to go back. If I got one thing to erase, is some of the bad films I have seen.
Howard the Duck.
Time I'll go over it.
Howard the Duck.
Honestly, it's not on my list. Honestly, it's not on my list because Howard the Duck didn't anger me. It just surprised me. It was entertaining in other ways, but it didn't anger me.
It was terrible.
It angered me.
Oh god, that was the gay one.
Ticked me.
Sorry.
And that was not by accident. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 angered me.
Okay.
Revenge of the Nerds 2 was they just went from raunchy, offensive comedy to they want to be family friendly. Too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, my favorite part of that whole movie is when Booger meets the Master, the Asian guy. That is one of my favorite scenes of that movie. But yeah, that was that. And why did they have to have a musical number in the second one? That was just stupid too. But yeah, it was not on par. Yeah, you also had to put in this film, and I don't think anybody. I'll probably only one remember it. And it's a weird movie. I don't even think this is the 80s. I gotta check it. I'm pretty sure
movie.
It's a Sean Connery movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weirdest film. It came out originally as a UK film. He played a cop who killed an suspected person who was sexually assaulting people, killing people. And it turned out he was the one doing it the whole time. It's a weird. It was during the time he was trying his best. His name escapes me, probably for good reason. But he had a weird run after James Bond. He made some bad films.
Highlander 2.
Not even Highlander, before Highlander 2. He made some bad films.
He had a rough run. He's kind of an on again, off again actor. Yeah, I can think of a few shitty ones that he made. Yeah.
Disney has some few bad ones, but Eddie Ann, I'm the only one that remembers that Disney film. That film was so bad. That film was so unpopular that the film came no more than 2 months later. That film came out and won the world of Disney.
Wait, say the film name again?
We don't know what it
Eddie
is.
Ann.
Eddie Ann?
What?
Eddie Ann.
What is?
It's
Disney's
about? Orphan version. Honestly, I've seen the film twice. I don't know what the hell it was about.
What?
Good.
What is it about? I mean, describe it a little bit.
He's an orphan. That's all I know.
It's that bad?
It's just so forgettable. I just remember the barrel rolls and she fell off the line from a train. That's all I gotta say.
Oh wait, now wrong.
It's not Throw Mama from a Train.
No, sorry. I was just thinking very horrible film, and suddenly I flashbacks to Land. But I don't know what.
Revenge of the Pink Panther. Yeah, that was a good idea. Let's make a movie without Peter Sellers.
Yeah, that was messed up. Yeah, I mean, I love the Pink Panther franchise. I really didn't. I won't say I didn't like it. I didn't love it. The last one they made with they made it. Oh God, it came out like 10 years ago with the guy from The Jerk and SNL, Steve Martin. Yeah.
Oh, Steve Martin.
The one with Steve Martin, not the son. The son I didn't mind so much, but the one with the Pink Panther something diamond. That had a lot of funny stuff in it, but it was not a Pink Panther movie. It was trying to be a Pink Panther movie, but it was just too stupid for a Pink Panther movie. You know, it had some memorable jokes in it and stuff. It had a big cast, but it was just a shit movie. Yeah, I really wish they didn't do that. They could have gotten such a better cast to try to make a movie like that. But yeah, that's shit.
Well, that was my big. I said, wow, you guys really didn't try. There's another film I'm trying to remember, sci-fi. Nightmare 2. I was never a big fan of Friday 13th, but if I gotta pick one bad one,
Okay.
each version, it will always be Part 8.
What was part
Jesus,
8? Did he
eight?
go to Manhattan
Jason Takes
there or
Manhattan.
the space one?
Yeah, no,
That's the
Jason Takes
one-
Manhattan.
Oh,
That's
Manhattan.
the one where in the
Space
end you see a little boy in a storm drain or something, or in the sewer or something. Like they
That was
free
the end of
him.
the movie.
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember from
They
that
free
movie.
That movie,
Yeah.
Jason Takes Manhattan for only 20 minutes, and he's spending like 15 of the minutes in the alley. Wow.
Just the title alone is just like
You
that
really-
movie
you
got
really-
made.
As soon as you say anything over part 5, people stop listening immediately to you talk about a movie. Like, I already know it's terrible.
You're
You
going
can't
on a
make more
jaunty
than 2.
night trip.
What cat?
He's going on a jaunty night trip.
Look,
Radio.
I didn't have- yeah, this was bad. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. But nothing disappointed me more than Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Okay.
Because they just
Now, are
did
those the
a
comedy
watered down
ones?
version. Return of the Living Dead was a classic,
hmm
and then you have Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which is the same thing with almost the same characters from the
Right.
first two.
About to say, yeah, they
It was
reused
just-
the
it was just-
exact cast. Yeah, and they just changed.
And it
It's
was
the
just
same
one-
thing with a different.
Yeah,
But-
if they water it down.
Is that the one that took place,
Boy.
starts in the medical supply place? Or is that the one that
No,
they're grave robbers?
no, yeah, they're grave robbers.
Okay, I like the doctor guy is the only thing I really liked about that movie. The crazy old doctor. He was awesome. Everything else, but yeah, you're right. It is exactly the same damn movie in a different location with characters playing a different kind of character. But really, they are the same characters. I think they even had the same damn names. Yeah, and that was part of the joke was, hey, look how lazy we are. We made the same movie and still made a bunch of money off it somehow. And they really didn't spend any money to make either one of the movies. That's the funny thing. Yeah, that
really
was
upset.
bad.
I was like, wow, we really didn't try, man.
Yeah, I like the first one a lot better. I mean, don't get me wrong. The two characters are stupid and funny, but there was no effort into it.
Like, wow, we went from, you reached a gold mine to I should have known that there was no way you can hit lightning twice.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for our show. Before we go, I just want to get a few announcements. We may have a name change here soon.
Oh God,
I'm
why?
sorry.
Why?
I guess that means the name's fine.
Oh, okay. What name change were you going to go to? I mean, J&J's Mondays is, hilarious because we air them on Sundays.
Okay, so we keep the name. I was hoping to hybrid it with the Entertainment Roundup and merge it.
Oh, tell me then. Sorry.
And be more of what we do here, but also add a few entertainment news to the market, so it'd be more even key. But Monday stays. So once you said that, I said, "Oh, that's good." And
I don't know. It's still funny to me. I don't know why. It's been like a year or two, and it always makes me chuckle. I think
Well,
because
we
I
was on
remember
Monday.
Herschel from The Walking Dead. Like he
Mhm.
said about spaghetti Wednesdays on a Tuesday or something. And so that's always what I think of when you say the opening to the to the podcast, Jockerly. That's always. so, yeah, but
All
yeah,
right,
it
so
originally
let's
aired
just
on a
keep it rolling.
Monday. So yeah, that's where that came from. So,
All right, so we just keep it there. I also have an announcement that we are approaching our mid-season finale. That's going to be happening very, very shortly. Not yet, though. We still have pretty much November. It's going to be 1 week before, if there is no delays again. It'll be 1 week before Thanksgiving. So we have one episode then, and then we're going to take our break. After we're going to take a 4-day break, and then we're going to go right back. So we're going to have the end of November, December, and in January we're going right back. So it'll be right after New Year's, 1 week after New Year's. That's what we're looking at because we got 3 episodes to make up. So we may do back to back.
Oh God, I hate back-to-back episodes because, like, by the
Small
end of the
announcement.
first one, I get sleepy by the end. In the second episode, I'm like drinking a few cups of coffee. Like,
Here's a small announcement. Josh's birthday is coming up in a week or so. I don't know what the exact date is today.
October 24th.
I didn't know what today is, I said.
Oh.
It's the
Okay.
16th.
I know it's the
well,
20th.
to me anyway.
Okay, so this upcoming week is Jashikin's birthday.
Give
She's
me
getting
lots of
old.
money.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, just in case you guys delay it and miss it, we can all say happy birthday. And I'm going to get her something better this year for her birthday because apparently the flu was not a good
It was bronchitis.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bronchitis wasn't the gift she wanted last year. You know what? I worked really none at all to get it. I just rubbed up on a bunch of dirty stuff and got it and gave it to you.
Now
You know,
that's dedication.
Women are never appreciative. She's just never appreciative of anything. I almost kill her and she gets upset.
I'm your wife. I'm supposed to be unappreciative of any and all things you do.
Well, I plan on getting you something that is really for me.
Will you actually kill me this year, or is just another tease?
No, that's what you want. No. You're living on. So if you do have a show next week, which I might be on because Josh will be here, we can all sing her happy birthday.
That'll be great. So, Josh,
Okay.
since it's your birthday that time, I gotta ask.
Oh God,
I'm
what?
gonna let you pick the main subject of the show, and it
You
better
know-
not be animals.
And it can't be animals.
Nope.
Oh God
And
damn
it can't be parakeets or birds.
Okay, no, I wasn't
Or
thinking
animals.
that. Okay, it's not going to
Okay,
be
no
goddamn animals.
Since you like
see.
Pokemon, we can talk about that.
Yeah,
I was just
Pokemon.
gonna
All right, I know nothing of that.
Okay, you're going to be
What
taught.
happened, Cat?
I'm
Pat,
playing a Pokemon
said
game
something?
as we speak.
Oh good. I'm going to start playing Pokemon probably after we stop filming. I've been meaning to play for a few days, but yeah.
Ooh, I might have just figured out what your gift is.
So I want to know what you're feeling of Pokemon. Do you think they're gonna make another movie?
Yes.
I
So-
don't really keep up with the movies or TV shows at all. Oh,
Oh, you got a
I'm
whole week to
more
figure
of
it
the
out.
game person, but I am very, very into the first movie. So I can at least do the first 3 movies.
yeah. Oh, I love
First one.
the first one with Mewtwo. That's fucking awesome. He's a little.
Good,
I
you're
have
the
no
only
idea
one
what
that
they're
feels
talking
that way.
about.
Don't feel bad. So we got that. That will be your selected birthday. I didn't want to talk about this ridiculous thing that Trump has done to bring.
That could be a million things.
Because frankly, I'm not
Oh,
gonna even
fuck.
get. I'm not gonna
Oh
touch on
no.
Stupidest fucking thing.
that.
Everything.
What has he done?
Or we could talk about the fact that the distract us from healthcare and gun care is the fact that he wants everybody to say Merry Christmas again.
Oh,
Like,
fuck,
anybody gives
really?
a fuck.
No
Yeah.
one gets it. Like, some people act like saying Merry Christmas is some act of rebellion when they can openly wear their Christian, stuff, where they can go to churches without persecution, where the fact that being a politician, people treat you better if you're a Christian, you have an easier time. But, suddenly saying Merry Christmas is a big deal.
I just think he needs to go back to high school and learn what parts of the country he currently resides over are part of his country.
Virgin
If he didn't-
Islands.
Or, Puerto Rico or, any of these things. He just doesn't, Guam, he's fucking stupid. I'm an idiot and I knew that.
That's the sad
Well,
part.
Well, we got plenty of
All
time
right.
to talk about that.
All
Until
right.
next time, guys. Thank you again for joining this show. Thank you, Kat. I hope you'll be with us next week as usual. Any changes that's going to happen, we'll be Leo, Josh, and I will inform everyone ahead of time, so that way nobody will be in the dark. If you don't hear anything by at least 5:30 or 6 o'clock,
Yep.
sometimes, even though we start at 7, you know where to go. All right. Until next time, guys. It's J77 saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
Adios.